I love music. Good morning. My name's Marge. I'm a yoke empath. I just like having these little talks on the way I feel about things. Today I feel pretty good. I woke up, landed in my soul sack, landed in my body, my spirit. In the night, it travels around into higher dimensions, not just third. It's not just a dream. It's our spirit having actual experiences in higher dimensions to give us a higher understanding and course and direction of our lives. These are gifts that God gives us. God gives us to every single one to help guide us and navigate us to the highest vibrational frequency, to get us to the course in which is love, to set us on the course, to help us freaking. And a lot of people don't like that. The vibrations of love, we are afraid of it because they're very close to fear and terror and trauma. We can learn to differentiate. We just take a little bit more time to freaking seek things out. People just take things at face value, and other people like to thwart that face value. They like to trick people. There's the dupers, the hiders is what I call them, the secret keepers. People that live one kind of way, but their lives, their real heart leads them to a course of life that is disingenuous, evil, dark. Well, because we all have free will and it's just what they're choosing. I went down an ant hole this morning. See, I've been getting a lot of connecting the dots, because I listen to stories with Aquarius rising Africa, and then David Zabolik talks with Jesse, and then everybody talks, and I just listen. I'm trying to join in the conversation, but I have my conversations here. I don't know. It ain't my time yet. I've been trying to reach out. Hey, anytime, if you want to have an interview, if you want to talk with me, I'll wake up in the middle of the night. I'm good time, and people, my inbox is with other people. It's just with other people. I'm not, that's why I'm like, I'm never gonna be real big and real important. I'm just not. For one, I don't want that kind of freaking press. I don't want I like my privacy. I like my quiet little life. I would like to step out into the earth every now and again and experience it on a higher vibrational frequency. All in all, I need my retreat time. That's where I do all my research. I need it nice and quiet. I get worked up. I get riled up. So I gotta keep it here. I was listening to that song, I'm in love with the stripper. I have some stories about strip. The night before I drove out to Omaha, Nebraska, I got kicked off. I got escorted out 86th. Because I wasn't touching. I know the rules. You don't. I'm a girl. I know the rules. I don't want anybody touching me without permission. I ain't gonna go around touching other people. Just so I wanted to dance too. So I did. Nope, Marge, can't do that. What? That was a wild night. I call them time travel memory fades because it's like 6 o'clock and then it's like 1 in the morning. It's like, where did it go? It's what happens is you go into a blackout. People function, have conversations, carry on, but their part of that brain is dead to the reality of what's happening. And then the next day, someone's like, "Remember when you did this? Remember when you did that?" You're all, "Yeah, sure, I remember that. I meant to do that." It's all that. It's what some people call it incomprehensible demoralization. When you do things and you're just like, I can't believe I did that again. I can't believe I did it again. I can't believe I did it again. So I went down an ant hole this morning because I've been listening to all the talks I mentioned earlier, and I moved out here from Omaha, Nebraska, and all the freaking stockyards right there. And I was thinking about it. I was like, what's right next to the stockyards is that Kellogg food distribution plant. Yeah, that was there. So I went down an ant hole with Kellogg, and they had it because when I was there back in. This is funny. I looked up, there was 2 instances that I recalled, and then I looked them up in the news, and the first one was Kellogg's cereal plant in Omaha evacuated over after oven catches fire. Because I remember when this was happening, when that happened. This article, but this article is old. Oh, this article is it was updated on, okay, but it was originally written on October 21st. Happy birthday soon, buddy. 2017. That's what made me smile when I saw that this morning, because I just asked him when his birthday was yesterday. I knew he was Libra coming up. That's the day before. Alright. So October 21st, 2017, this happened. I thought it happened before that. This was in 96th and F Street, because it's right on the outskirts. It's right on where the, you know, and it adds up from what Jesse talks about, you know, is that all this human trafficking happens, and then they take the people, and then they do all the stuff with the people, whether it's you know, they sacrifice for satanic cults or whatever. They use every part, you know, they use every part. Human beings are very freaking, it's a business. It's a business. And they talk about how the, you know, like the adrenochrome in the brown babies, us brown babies is stronger, and you know, it's all this stuff. It's all this stuff, and it's all coming out. And so what are people going to do with the cognitive dissonance of like, oh my god, I ate Kellogg's cereal for years? Because that natural ingredients is the dust, is the ashes from people. Natural ingredients. See, that's why there's so much, people have so many issues with food. I've always had issues with food. I get my nutrients, my energy from the sun. So I have a hard time in winter. I like it sunny. I'd rather have it hot. Because I get my energy from the sun. We're like a battery. A lot of us do. And people, you know, it's the crap in the food. It's literally, we're not supposed to be cannibals. We're not supposed to eat each other. We're not. And there's these storylines of these people that make just gazillions of dollars doing it. So that was the first one. And then there was a second one. This is the one I remember because it was on September 5th. This one, I was just quit Creighton. I think I was still at this title company that was run by a bunch of cokeheads. It was a terrible place to work. They just used me for 45 days to like move all the computers, and then said that they, you know, and then they were going to revisit, but then they're like, oh, it's not going to work out. After I freaking did like moved like, it was just, and that was their plan. They were never going to hire, they were just going to hire somebody for like 3 months and then say, oh, it's not going to work out. It was freaking so messed up. Anyway. That's karma, though. I mean, these companies do this stuff, and then karma happens. Like OSHA investigating accident that injured 2 workers at Omaha Kellogg's plant, right? Because it was still open. See, this plant was so run down, and it was so nasty that they ended up closing it because it was not safe. I mean, it was all rusted out. I remember driving by it and seeing it, like the grain barrel. It was like collapsing and stuff. I'm like, man. But now it's they since cleared it. But I know people that worked at these plants, you know, and it's just like they're just doing their job, putting in this stuff that says flour or whatever on it to make the, you know. But it's just so nefarious and gross. So people inherently know this, and that's why there's allergies. That's why there's so much sickness. So there's like, and then people have food issues. You know, because it's like your body, you're not supposed to consume this shit. Your body turns on it. And I learned a lot about food a long time ago. I always had to read labels from the time that I could read, because we were hypoglycemia, milk and so I had all this. I never got to freaking live life the way most people live life. Sunday morning cereal, watching cartoons. No. Even Christmases. I mean, our Christmases, like for every single year. Every Christmas morning, when from the time I was like 7 until 12, 13, when I was like, nah, I don't want to do it no more, we had to ride on a fucking Greyhound bus for 11 hours. Because my father always lived in Central California and we were up in Redding. To get away from them. To put that distance in between us. So, court judge says, Got a visit. And then he was never around. We were never visiting him. We were always at grandma's. He didn't give a shit about us. He just didn't. He just was a freaking macho fucking stud. And he was just looking for a place, just trying to pass his freaking seat around, you know, with the freaking porn, Magnum PI mustache, you know, all the man jobs, oil fields. Yeah. Truck driving. All of these freaking just, never really knew the guy. And I think it's to my benefit, actually, honestly. I think it is. Because, you know, I have my own suspicions about, you know, egos like that. So, going down my anthole in Kellogg, I'll just give you a little bit about the background of Kellogg. The guy, you know, Kellogg cereals, all the snack food, Cheez-Its, stuff like that. All this food. So he was, this is just from Wikipedia. He was born on April 7th. He's an Aries. He died when he was 91, nice on old age. You know, in 1934, he started from like selling vacuum cleaners or so. What he sold something. Oh yeah, he's from the Seventh-day Adventist Church. So there's no Luciferian tale theater attachments there at all. You know. Kellogg started the Kellogg Foundation in 1934 with $66 million in Kellogg Company stocks and investment. That's in 1934. That's a lot of freaking money. That's a lot of freaking money in 1934. Let's see what else Kellogg did. He's a major philanthropist. He liked horses. This is a synchronicity and how this guy connects to my like my family line. So he was an Arabian horse breeder. Now when my mom, which is funny to me, I made this connection too. See, when I was born and they cut her ovary in half, her uterus in half and took out one of her ovaries. See, they did that. Who knows what they did with the ovaries. I probably have siblings out there I don't know about, and they're probably living in tunnels and stuff like that. You know, because they do these weird experiences. It's like, it is also very Frankenstein. It's very Frankenstein. So, you know, all the Christians that love everyone and love and light and everything's great. Would you be willing to take in a being that was created in a lab that was human and also pig? Could ya? Would ya? Would you have them down for Sunday dinner and ask them how their day is? Would ya? And that's the world that we're moving to, because these are the monstrosities that exist because people like to buy Teslas. Yeah. Those are the storylines that your muskrat is perpetuating. Yeah. And in my mind, when people do things like buy Teslas, you're buying for Satan. Yeah. Because the man is freaking boring tunnels. He's trying to change the script because he's like, oh shit, they're on to us. We better act like we're a good guy right now. We better act like I'm for the love and light and God. SIDS, really, Elon? Muskrat? SIDS, is that how your first son died? Because everybody knows the first son goes. Huh, Gloria Vanderbilt. Isn't that right? Anderson Cooper, ain't that right? Isn't that how your brother died? Your mom freaking threw him off the balcony? First son's gotta go. Like we're bitches, like we're chumps, like we're stupid and dumb. Like, oh, see, I known about this my whole life. I was part of it. I was raped when I was 10 months old. But that doesn't happen! People have discounted and disregarded our whole lives. People like me. Because they can't handle the reality that evil exists. But God is good, and God is here in this room right now. God is with me and all the time. I woke up, I didn't have any. I've had a good night's sleep since Jessie prayed for me. She did a prayer specifically for, and it's not just Jessie. It's Autumn. It's all the people that say prayers for me and Mom. And they're about to come true. I could feel it. I could feel it. my natal, let's see, natal sun in opposition. Technology is so freaking jacked right now. An important relationship, perhaps an older person or someone in authority, may come into your focus today. There could be some tension or sense of opposition requiring compromise or negotiations. There's always that. I never get my fucking way. I never have. I get the crumbs. I get the scraps. And then I make good shit out of it. I make, okay, I can do this good enough. But people have never I've never been paid what I was worth. I got a couple of awards when I was in the Air Force, so that was kind of cool. But I've never in my life gotten the recognition that I deserve. Ever. Ever. And I just sit and watch the cool kids, the people in the cliques, the people that have the same last names as the people that are giving out the award, get the reward. You know? The whole, the whole system is stacked. Everything is stacked. I just used to be on the advantage of the stacked side where the stacked got benefit. And then God said, no, you don't get to. That ain't your path. That is not your course of life, Marge. So I was reminded when Mom had her hysterectomy that they gave her Premarin. And I remember reading about Premarin when I was like 11 or 12 because it has the fact base on it and the ingredient sheet on it. And it was in fact made with horse urine. So they take a perfectly viable 25-year-old woman, mutilate her, create an imbalance with her, a literal imbalance by cutting her uterus in half and taking one of her ovaries. So that way, every month, when her natural cycle, it goes to talk to do her natural ovulation and her natural woman stuff, it can't communicate and her body goes between. Doesn't know what to do. She goes crazy because her body's going crazy. And then they're like, here's some fucking horse urine in a pill. It'll level you out. And these are, how come, are they talking about these crimes against humanity yet? Are they? Because I know that this shit ain't the only one. It didn't just happen to my mom. But people still, go 49ers. I think about how much shit and I struggle with it because I see this stuff because it was there by the grace of God go I, and I try not to judge. I fight myself every day. I'm a moody bitch. I'm a moody bitch is what it is. Yeah. And I'm just like, because I add up everything. Everything's numbers, and money matters more than people. So I might as well talk to terms that people can relate to because all they care about is money. So. And living in a certain kind of way, right? Isn't that all that matters? It is insane to me how I don't even have another place to live yet, and my brother is already sending links on, ways to supplement my income. I'm like, I don't need to fucking What makes you, he thinks that, retirement funds and stuff are gonna be here. They're, everything that he's paid in, he thinks what people think, man. I tell you what. Maybe it will be. Maybe the grace of God will touch him and the freaking whole economic system won't crash in the next few months. And all hell won't, maybe that'll happen. All hell won't break loose and all the rich will keep rich and they'll just, maybe they'll share more. Who knows? I never know how things are going to go. I read energy. I listen to reports. I don't take anything on as 100% truth. Nothing. I understand that, I have a divine connection with God, source, and myself in different, experiences. Like if I meet someone, oh, you met someone like this before, alert. Let's see how much they're like them. And then they can prove that they're different and they're an honest trust, but there aren't a whole lot of even authentic people in the world. I mean, the whole world has been props and shows and it's just all been a facade, And when you tune all that out and you get quiet, you start to really tune into the vibrational frequency of what truth is and what bullshit is. And we've all had to just eat shit for years. Just eat it. Just take it. That's just the way it is. Crap that we've had to do for a paycheck so we can pay banks. I remember when I was in Corp USA and I was submitting to my 401k and I was doing all this in the Oppenheimer and then listening to freaking Aquarius Rising Africa this morning, and it's Oppenheimer. It's the 6 they're all freaking Luciferi tale freaking loving, and it's stopping because they can't do their rituals because nobody's moving around and all the kids are at home, so they can't nab them and they can't do all those things that they usually do to get their fix. They're not getting their fix, man. Or it's tainted, or it's freaking, the gig is out. This, and I see on every now and again I'll see on the media and the news, and they're trying to tie it with like cute. It's just bullshit, man. It's just all bullshit. And guess who's in charge? Just who's right at the top? Anderson Cooper. Dude, he's a fucking witch, man. He's a freaking sadist, dude. Warlock guy. And I don't even like saying that all witches are bad. I don't. That's my storyline. Some people are like, oh, if you're a witch, you're evil. And I'm like, nah. If you fucking, like, kill things and harm things, But there's, like, I myself probably fall in the category of witch because I make canna cookies. So I take flour from marijuana flour. I take marijuana flour, freaking cook it with my butter, and then make cookies with my butter. And it's my medicine. Because there's about 3 days out of the month. If you were to take a calendar month, there's about 3 days I don't have a level 6, level 7 migraine. That I just get to press on and suck it up and just get over it. Because it doesn't matter how shitty I feel. It doesn't matter how much my back hurts. None of that matters. What matters is that I act better than I feel. I give mom good days. I go out and I report and I bring her back my findings, take pictures, we just get to exchange. She's all the family I got, so I got to put all I got into her and my dogs. So, Primarin. Yeah, let's put in Primarin. And this guy, Kellogg, had horses. And this was the weird synchronicity, the rabbit hole, is because this is the part that I was like, what? I didn't know this story. He had horses. He purchased 377 acres for $250 in Panoma. Scroll down. This is the part right here. In 1948, because that's what they do, it's all elites. It's all like land. They pass it around like, oh, it's all bargains and kind of thing. And it's rich people. And it has no place for us little people that just want to live, that aren't into the slave system, And I'm not one of those that recognizes today as a freaking holiday. Yeah. F that guy. FCC Day. FCC Day. FUCC Day. F you, Chris Columbus. F you. Yep. Mooch. So, where was it? In 1932, Kellogg donated the ranch had grown to 750 acres to the University of California in 1933. The ranch obtained some of the horses, because I remember they talked about the wild horses that run around in San Luis Obispo and stuff like that. During World War II, the ranch was taken over by the U.S. War Department because they take over whatever they want. In 1948... here it is. In 1948, the ranch was transferred to the U.S. Department of Agriculture. In 1949, that was the year before my mom was born, the land was deeded to W.K. Kellogg Foundation. Later in 1949, the title to the then 813-acre ranch and horses was passed to the state of California. Guess what it is now? With the provision that the herd of Arabian horses must be maintained. The ranch became part of the Versus unit of what was then known as it's not now, as California Polytech State College in San Luis Obispo. Funny story. My grandma And Grandpa lived in Atascadero, about 26 miles north, up on the Cuesta Bridge. That's a freaking transmission killer. Cuesta grade. It's where they did the Commando. They did part of Commando when he's hanging out with Melissa Milano and throwing her in the pool and stuff. That's where they filmed that. And Tascadero is here's a weird part of history. See, because I was always the outsider, right? I was born in San Bernardino on the 34th parallel. Well, my dad and my brother, they were born in the same hospital. Same 19-room hospital. Isn't that kind of... That, I mean, it doesn't happen so much anymore. It happens more then, but it was 20 years, 20 whatever, 48 to 71. How old was he? I'm not good at math. Especially when I'm on the spot. 1948 from 1971. That ain't right. Oh, because he's older than me. Never mind, that is right. So he was like 23. They were older when I was born. He was like 20. Anyway, I was the parting gift. So I think what's happening is what people are you know, the hiders. This is a great time. All the Rona is great for the hiders. Look at all the hiders that are. Look at all the lazy fucks that get to stay home and don't do nothing. I would rather be out working every day. I would rather, you know, well, no, that's not true. That's not true. I am more comfortable with being a workhorse. I am more comfortable being at home in a work from home daughter or stay at home daughter or whatever you want to call me, hanging out with mom, making sure that she's got everything. Because see, she gets up with the clock. She gets up with the sun, you know, and then it's like, sometimes she's hungry right away. Sometimes so I do everything around her schedule, you know, because when I'm hungry, she's not always, or you know, we're not always hungry at the same time. So I've really got to think for what's best for her in all situations. You know, at the same time, you know, I've done a lot of activity. I've worked hard, you know, so now my work is a little bit different. Now I spend my days freaking putting putting stuff together about, you know, the variousness of how it all connect, you know. They put freaking ashes of people in our food, man. It's disgusting. And you know what else I read about this guy is that Kellogg, if you look up at Kellogg, look at the just the company, they donated like 2 million. See, that's because that all this stuff, it's under when you look on the back of your food and it says natural ingredient, and if you're eating like oatmeal, freaking, you know, fucking hot dogs, and it sucks because I love hot dogs and I know that they're disgusting. I love them. Freaking burnt hot dogs on the grill, you know, and it's like they made us all a part of it, you know. So then we were like, oh gosh. But now what the beautiful part is happening is with all this big business and shit falling down, we're gonna still get cereal and stuff like that. It's just gonna be made more on a local, communal basis. How it always should have been. It never should have been monopolized. And then they said, no, monopolies, they're illegal. They don't happen. But then they're freaking... Dude, PG&E is a monopoly. You know, it's all a monopoly. It's all a monopoly. Let's just call this shit for what they're, you know, for what it's worth. So Kellogg's WIC, they donated in... This was kind of interesting too. And recently, like in the last... Oh, I'm not going to be able to find it now. They donated... It was like... In June... In 2017, Kellogg acquired Chicago-based food company Rex Bar. See, yeah, it's all this granola, all that stuff. Anything where there's flour, anything. Oh, it's just nasty. I can't ever eat oatmeal again. I can't. Quaker Oats, fuck you, man. Fuck you. Quaker Oats. Yeah, here we go. More separation and division. In 2019, Kellogg partnered with Glad by launching a new limited edition Altogether cereal, donating to $50 million to support Glad anti-bullying and alphabet soup advocacy. I hate that shit. LGBTQ. Fuck you. Alphabet soup and your bullshit. It's more division. It's just... Nobody gets the rainbow. Nobody. But they submitted a substantial amount of money to California to keep them from having to put what is on their product labels. So they're paying people to, no, keep our secrets. Don't make us elaborate on what natural ingredients is. I can't even, where is it? Where's the, I just saw it. And then in 2018, they decided to cease their operation in Venezuela because, dude, they freaking, you know, they got in trouble for having 8-year-olds work for them and stuff like that. It's all a fucking crock. And then, but look who profits. Look who profits of it. Look who profits from it. Look who profits from it. Look who profits. All the people that are, you know. Look, this totally tracks with all the freaking companies that have been moving out of Omaha since I left. I'm like, dude, this place is, because ConAgra started also food products. Everything went up to Chicago because people are figuring out, because the gig is up. You know, the gig is up. And then they shut everything down. It's a human freaking trafficking, sex trafficking freaking hub. It's like one of the main ones. You know? It's just all right there. It's all right there. And people, you got this small percentage of the population of truthers like me that see it, and then it's just like, oh shit, you know, and then, but once everybody starts to shit, dude, it's gonna be so hard to fucking soothe, because people don't self-soothe, man. So you gotta go, it's okay, find a God bigger than yourself, you'll be alright, it's alright. Yeah, lots of people get, you know, bad shit happens. Congratulations to all you motherfuckers that have set your life up that where you just don't see that any of this shit exists. Congratulations. Mission accomplished, man. You freaking buried your head deep down, dark into the freaking sand, you know? And all those years that I've been talking about my experience, and people are like, looking through me like I'm not even there, you know? You can't look through us anymore, right? Because we're all radios. Our brains are radio receivers, and we tune into frequencies, you know? And frequencies are sane people like us. I bet Ahmad and I we've had conversations in our dream state, but we're hanging out in higher dimensions, you know? Because he and I mean, we don't even talk much, but I feel like then I know the guy, you know? And he watches my videos, so he's got to have a better grasp of understanding of who I am than I have of him. But because he watches my videos, you know? And he's from Iran. I hope you don't mind me saying that. And that's cool because I get to hear about, you know, actual accounts of these places and not the freaking, and he hasn't lived there for a long time, but still, I like to hear from people that are actually in these parts of the world because I never believed the bullshit narrative that was told to me. Ever. Ever. Sorry for all you that did. Sorry for all you that thought, you know, that there is a divine force outside of God's will. Yeah. So, anyway. Woo! Susan in the talkie room. I stopped by Marge Astrology this morning. She was talking about supernovas, and that to me makes me think all about Adrienne Elise. That's Adrienne Elise all the way right there, you know. And that she watches other people, and that's the thing. You can, you know, we all have these same catchphrases and stuff, but when some people are more adamant, you gotta, you know, it ain't got nothing to be like, hey, Adrienne Elise, you know, give credit where credit's due. That's why I don't like people that I like to cite where I get my stuff. I don't get all the stuff I get because I get it. I get it because I go out and I'm drawn to other frequencies like me, and I listen to their talks, and then I tell people where I get it from too. Yeah, I don't always give credit where credit is due, and we don't live in that kind of an accountable society, because if we did, the world wouldn't be freaking flushing down a Babylon shit toilet right now. But that's what's happening, because money matters more than people, and you got to drive those Audis and Teslas and have all those big expensive cars. So what? So what? When you die, there's a car that you once owned that was really expensive. And cars sit in fucking garages, like, most of the time. Most of the time, cars just sit there. And I think about the gazillions of dollars that people piss away on just fucking something that they use sometimes, you know? I like my big red truck. She's going to the she's having the transmission pan address this morning, or this afternoon, so I gotta get going and get Mom her breakfast. So that's about all I got now. I hope you have a rad day. Peace.